I work in the kitchen. What do you think we're doing in there? She actually basically explained to me the next month that she would like to give me Employee of the Month again, but she was concerned about the animosity that it would cause. I was also the oldest person working in there as well. Everybody was like 18 years old. But she told me I could continue to eat in the kitchen, and I said, thank you with my wink.
Gdayall, and welcome to episode 80, Mall Food, which is good. It's episode 80 because it's sort of like it was the best in the 80s. Now, I know malls weren't a thing everywhere. So now I will say, even though I was going to say this a little bit later, Phil's not here. So he had no mall experience. So I had to cast him away. And we have got Sean.
Hello.
Hello. Our fantastic warehouse manager. And all that cool stuff we're getting in? You can thank Sean.
You're welcome.
Always keeps his eye out. So he is from the Midwest. So he has a different experience as well. Now, this quote I read sort of sums up the mall for me as an adolescent and teenager. Fast Times at Ridgemont High did more than just guarantee the word awesome entered our permanent collective lexicon. The mall food court in the movie, shot in the Sherman Oaks Galleria in LA's San Fernando Valley, represented the 80s teen ideal of community freedom and independence. In the days before Wi-Fi or Snapchat, social networking was done at the mall with an orange Julius or a hot dog on a stick in hand. Now, it is true because I'm wearing Vans now, still, from the 80s on. And the biggest part of growing up, my high school was a couple blocks away from both the good and the bad mall. We were talking about that earlier. There's always a good mall and a bad mall. And when you were a junior, you got to leave campus one day a week for lunch. And when you were a senior, it was 5 days a week. They had a hard time telling who was a junior and a senior after a while, so you could sneak it. And I used to fill my little Honda Civic with as many bodies that would squish in it and go to Old Time Burrito or whatever else was at the mall. And I also think the mall is probably one of the most relatable parts of American culture. Even in Stranger Things, season 2 was set in a brand new 80s neon decorated mall. So that's our premise, and we're going to move on. And because we have Sean, we can talk about a whole lot of other things too, because he's got some inside information on some of the stock we're trying to get and some stuff we can't and all that sort of good stuff. So we'll talk about that later. Now, where's Phil, Sean?
That's a good question. Always a good question. Where's Phil? We should make a book.
Yes, that's right. Is he here? Is the light on in his office? There we are. Jeanette got him sick this week. He's got the flu. Not the flu, a cold.
He's got flu-rona now.
Flu-rona.
Is that what they're calling it?
So as a public service to us, we sent him home because he was a bit sniffly. So we hope he is feeling better shortly. So today's show, we're talking about the birth of the mall and the food court, the awesome 80s and early 90s, food court favorites back in the day, because Sean and I have both been here a long time. So
19 years today.
Congratulations.
This is my anniversary of moving to Australia.
Oh, wow. Well done. Congratulations. Now we're going to mention some other stores and that kind of tacked onto the malls after we left, and the dawn of the coffee places that happened also. Now, if you want to, I'll go through the fun facts. If you want to grab one, you're welcome to. Otherwise, I will just chat away. Do you want to do? I'll do the first one.
All right.
How's that? Because the second one's a bit sad. I'll let you deliver the bad news.
Okay, no problem.
The first mall food court was opened at Paramus Park Shopping Mall in Paramus, New Jersey in March 1974. And it's a long time. The malls were around from the 50s, but the food courts hit in the 70s.
Fun fact number 2. USA Today recently reported a grim projection. About 25 to 50% of American malls could disappear within the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, and I read something after that. At the moment, there's only about 1,000 malls left in the U.S.
It's already happening.
Yeah, and it's sad when it happens because, for a lot of us, that was a good place to be, but it was also where we worked. all of that sort of stuff.
We all went there to not buy things
That's-
sometimes, right? You know?
Absolutely. The only thing I'd spent my money on is like a refillable Coke somewhere or a burrito, but I just window shopped and annoyed the people in the stores.
It's like now that when people go shopping and they just leave stuff in their cart just to get their fix of shopping without actually shopping.
That's
So
right.
It's online window shopping.
Yes.
and then you get all the codes for the,
Try
that's
on the jeans and then buy them online.
Yeah, that is the bonus. So it's sort of a change in American society. I was saying to Sean the last time I went home, I was quite surprised because so many things. I don't know what it's gonna be like next time I go because so many of the good stores were gone. There was no toy store. There was still See's Candy.
This was before the pandemic, though, right? So we can't blame that one.
No, it was just people. I don't know whether online hit more at home, the ease of a few other things, but I found that a bit depressing. And I also found here that at home we got up to more stuff. We wandered around. We kind of explored whether we were naughty or nice, whatever.
It was a bit safer to wander around. It seems like back in the day, where you could drop kids off, and it was almost like a babysitter. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
The mall was a place that you could just drop your teenager off and come back and get them, and they're there.
And that's right. And half your friends would be there, so you'd see them. And now, you would know, because your son's hitting the age, and my girls, everyone was on. They're just texting each other. No one actually saw each other.
We went to the mall to eat because we would always know girls or boys that would work in some of the restaurants. So that's where we'd go get the freebies.
Yes. Now, Dolores' ears might prick up here. Chris Reynolds worked at Taco Bell for a period of time. That was always good. And I went out with a boy who worked at Long John Silver's.
Oh, Long John's.
Got lots of hush puppies. I just sit there and wait for him to finish work.
Lots of acne comes with everything from Long John Silver's. The grease on the food, grease on your face.
Yeah, that's right. You could see the haze through that.
Remember you'd want them to scrape up the bottom of the hush puppy, the crunchy bits. Oh yeah, that was delicious. I don't know why, but it was.
Well, that's true, because then being a girl, after that, I could go to Macy's and try the toner and just clean my face, try the new perfume on. I used to leave when Brenda and I were dating, so I used to go to the cologne counter at Macy's, and I'd have a scarf or something, and I'd spray, because he wore polo at the time, and I'd spray polo on it. So I'd take it home.
Oh, that's nice and romantic.
I've got a story.
Yes.
So I've got this memory quickly from, I don't know which mall it was, but near you, Stockton. So when we went to Mexican the other night, I do this every single time I want Mexican. I don't know. I'm not sure the difference between a burrito and enchilada. Enchilada, right? Enchilada. One of them's kind of cooked and one's not, right? But they're pretty much the same thing. But I always get confused between which. And I always go back to Old Time Burrito, which was next to Orange Julius.
Yes.
Right? And I go, oh, that's the one in the wrap. That's the one I want. So they go, what do you want? And I go, hang on, Old Time Burrito. I want a burrito, thank you. I've got to do that every single time.
Loop back to the answer.
Yep.
Yes.
Anyway.
Old Time Burritos.
Whatever makes the mind work.
Yeah.
Actually, if there's any, Megan, if you're listening, if you had Old Time Burrito, Megan is someone a little bit younger than me, but same vintage in California. Her mother was Australian, so
she's one of our customers?
No, she's online.
Okay.
But yeah, and so if you ever had an Old Time Burrito near you, it was the size. It was huge. It was like the summer sausage at Hickory Farms. It was like you cut it in half and shared it, or ate it over like lunch and dinner. But Zana and I used to split those. But the Old Time Burrito, and they used to put the giant tortilla and put it in the steamer, and it was just huge. So Mission Burrito, or the Mission in St. Kilda, we sell to him.
Bay City
Burrito.
Yep.
Yeah, they had that. It's called the Mission Burrito, that style. And I was so excited when I went there the first time because they even wrapped it in the foil, right?
Shout out to Gary Mink at Bay City Burrito.
Yes. And go there if you need a California burrito fix.
We had burritos as big as our head. That was the name of the business. And I guess depending on how big your head was how big the burrito was. It was kind of insulting if you had a big head, really.
It would be. Are you going with someone?
I was full. Every time I left, I was very full.
I was also saying, Sean used to have to travel to his mall.
So I lived in a little town, Warsaw, Indiana, 14,000. I think there's still 14,000 or one less because I left, maybe. But back in the day, we had to drive 45 minutes to Fort Wayne, Indiana, to the Glenbrook Mall.
Right.
Now, when I was young, 45-minute drive seemed like a very long drive, a very long, boring drive. Obviously, we couldn't choose the music or have any, advancements going on. So 45 minutes was a long time to go to the Fort Wayne Mall. But the most times I remember going is when I would cut school so my single mother could spend half of her wage lining up with me to get Jordans at Foot Locker.
Oh,
so she was getting 200 and the shoes were 100, something like that. And I didn't even feel guilty about it, but I am right now for some reason.
That's what happens. We get older and we realize, oh yeah, that would have hurt.
It would have hurt.
Sherry's out visiting at the moment. Sean's mom's visiting at the moment, and it's so nice to have her here. And
I've even got her packing orders.
I know she was in the back. If your order is perfectly packed, that might have been Sherry that did that for you. And I think Mackenzie has adopted her completely. Every time I walked out there, she had the big smile across her face.
They seem to be getting along quite well.
Yeah. Well, he could not. We had the good mall, which Brendan will remember, Stone Ridge. Mm-hmm. Now, way back when, before Teslas were big and all that, being California, they had like an electric car charging station. There were 3 parking bays outside of Nordstrom's. I'm like, who has one of those? But it was close enough.
Was this before they killed the electric car the first time?
I think so, yeah, because it was the original. And it was always out. Sorry? 30 years ago, yeah. But that mall, see, my mall, they'd have like, usually there'd be a movie theater maybe and a couple of anchor stores. So like we used to have Sears, Montgomery Ward's, Gottschalk's, Macy's, sort of in my town. This one had Macy's and Nordstrom's and, fancy, like I was saying, Sharper Image, all those things. So that was the big one. And that was...
Where was JCPenney? In the old one or the new one?
JCPenney was in the former bad one that then became the good one. I don't know why, but they had Penny's and Sears at the big fancy one as well.
I think both of those are finished now, right? Sears and Penny's.
Oh yeah, and Montgomery Ward's. My dad sold sewing machines at Montgomery Ward's. He sewed my mom a Morticia Adams dress one year and he didn't want to admit it, but
it was for Halloween.
Oh,
okay.
It was Gomez. But the anchor stores were so much better over there. You get there and it was just Mom and I would spend the day over there. And I suppose, thinking about it, Mom can back me up. You got the Jordans. Mom would like buy me Clinique. Like, I need you to take care of your skin. So she would do those sort of nice things. But you had to go into the department store to get all that. Now, I know we're talking about mall culture, but I think we'll talk a little bit more. We'll get to the birth of it and the actual food bit, which is the good bit, after the break.
And we're back. How was that, Phil?
That was very good. I think that was Sean impersonating Anna impersonating Phil. So yeah, we'll just keep going. So now we're going to go quickly to the birth of the mall and the food court. So many of us that came from small towns or a certain vintage will remember, the regular Main Street USA. So the visionary behind the idea was James Rouse. He was a pioneering developer responsible for many shopping centers. He's also credited with coining the term shopping mall in the 50s. He recognized that malls were the town centers of suburban sprawl, a gathering spot where people could linger, not just a shopping or dining destination. So Margaret Watch has noticed that shoppers spent almost 20% more at a mall with a good food court. Of course, because if you're there, you got to pay yourself back. So when shoppers moved from the urban centers out to the suburbs, post-World War II boom, the retailers followed. By 1954, When Time published the article Flight to the Suburbs, 93 suburban shopping malls had been built around the country's 20 largest cities, and another 25 are on the way. These malls included restaurants, some in department stores. Do you remember, like, Macy's used to have like a place to go have lunch, or some of the department stores you could eat in there. And there were also cafeterias and Woolworths Five and Dime. The restaurants were more of a convenience to suddenly hungry shoppers rather than their destination, which is true. As we were talking about, you'd go there and just hang as well. I remember maybe after you got your Jordans, you might get lunch, because really, when you spend that much, you might as well just keep going and have a nice sandwich.
Even if you went there just to do window shop, you were definitely getting something to eat.
Yes.
100%.
We used to go to, when we go to Stone Ridge, that's the really good mall. And I was saying to Sean today, I knew it was fancy because it had a glass elevator. So we'd go in there, and I saw Gloria Jeans there. Now, someone in Australia must have bought Gloria Jeans, because it's an Australian franchise now. But it was.
Is it even in America anymore?
I don't know. Someone can tell me. But I used to go down there. They were downstairs. They were across from Williams of Sonoma. I remember that shop as well. And I'd only get a fancy coffee like once a month.
What was a fancy coffee back then?
It was like a vanilla iced latte.
Oh, okay.
But they put these little chips in it, like little chocolate chips. So they kind of get stuck in your straw, but not completely, and whipped cream on top. It was very good.
Still here.
Still in the US?
No, here.
I know it's here.
Gloria Jeans.
Yeah, but it was in the US.
Is she a real woman?
I don't think so. Although Mrs. Fields is a real woman.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
Mom worked with someone that went to college with Mrs. Fields. And when she was Mrs. Fields, she was about 30. Right. So we'll talk about the 80s. Awesome 80s. And the thing was, the children of the suburban boom became adults and had children of their own. So these children of the 70s and 80s grew up around the malls. It was never just a shopping opportunity. It was a cultural experience that Rouse had envisioned. The mall and its food court gave the suburbs a civic anchor, as the Smithsonian magazine put it. A handful of restaurants quickly emerged as favorites. One vendor that immediately became a food court staple was Orange Julius along the West Coast. Oh, that was so good. Hot dog on a stick. Did you ever have those?
So that's different than like a corn dog?
No, it is a corn dog.
Okay.
But the uniforms those poor girls had to wear. They had a really tall round hat.
I don't remember. I don't remember hot dog on a stick.
Well, it's a West Coast thing. They would serve lemonade, like freshly squeezed lemonade, and you'd either have a corn dog or it was cheese on a stick that they'd put in the batter and do it. And I don't remember any of the cool girls working there, because that uniform.
Not good.
It was not good. It was not good. And yes, they had mini, like circus striped mini dresses and hats. These big hats.
Sounds great.
The food courts of the 80s also had their fair share of restaurants with roots in ethnic immigrant communities. Even the food itself bore little resemblance to its ancestors. Sbarro, which you talked about, Panda Express, and their orange chicken were very common. Other more specialized trends in the 80s, there was cookie stores, like the American Cookie Store, Mrs. Fields. You could get like the giant cookie cakes or a bucket of cookies.
One time I got one of those giant cookies instead of a
Yes.
cake for my birthday. I wasn't that happy about it. I really wasn't. Yeah, but they're just
It's
big
a
cookies
cookie.
though. There was no thickness like a cake, you know.
You need
I
layers.
definitely felt like I got robbed.
Can't see the candle in it.
It's hard to do.
It's like getting a giant donut cake. I want layers too. My mother one year didn't get me a cake. So she's going to say, you say all these bad things about me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And one year you didn't face it. But I was such a brat about that too.
It's obviously still not over it.
And I'm not. Actually, one year Brendan didn't get me a cake and I cracked it too. I made you go. Just give me a damn cake.
Yeah.
That's
I
all.
learned that. After that. No matter what she says.
A little bit of cake could go along.
I have
with it.
never
Really can.
in my life ever said, don't get me a cake. If those words ever came out of my mouth, I'm being kidnapped. It's a code.
You're being coy. You really want a cake.
I always want a cake. And I'll go buy my own damn cake like I have done before.
Gotta do
Right.
what you got to do.
So, no, there's no reading minds. I'm pretty straight up. Sean knows when I'm
She
hungry
wears a
what
shirt
to-
that says "I love cake"
I
and
love
I need
cake.
a cake.
I need a cake. It's cake month. coming up, by the way. So I'm going to talk about some of these favorites, and you jump in with yours as well.
Okay.
Some of them might be the same. So we've done the cookie cake, and I know that's not good for birthdays. I would never do that myself. So we will leave the cookies alone. But there were little cookie stands that used to hop around. So you could get a bucket of mini cookies and the chocolate chip cookies and macadamia cookies and all that. And we still have a Mrs. Fields at Southland today. Hickory Farms was my favorite place to go when I had no money for the food court.
They definitely gave a lot of samples away.
Oh,
as many as you wanted.
That's right. And every third step, there's summer sausage was my favorite.
I don't know if their stores are still going, but they're still going because I still get Hickory Farms sent to me in the mail occasionally for Christmas from one of my Aunt Lori.
Oh,
she will still send, and I don't even know how. I guess they don't have a problem with a gift with summer sausage and salami and cheese all coming, but you know how they are. They're all nicely laid out in a little
they
box.
Had the best hampery things.
It was a good Christmas gift for a family, like your neighbor.
Like they'd had that really nice dried fruit, but it wasn't it was really chunky and good. Oh, I love that. Zane and I used to. We go taste our way around. Let's go. And we get the smoked cheese and, yes, as you said, summer sausage. And I don't remember seeing people buy too much there. I think we were all maybe sampling at the time.
Like Sharper Image. They don't buy anything.
That's right. Now, pretzel places.
Okay, I see you talking about Hot Sam.
Yeah.
So I think I remember that. It's somewhere in my brain, but I think it's not Hot Sam anymore.
No, because
I remember Aunt Annie's.
Yes.
The last time I was in the States, and it seems like they started making them more into dessert pretzels, where Hot Sam was more of a savory pretzel.
Yeah, that's right, and you could smell it.
They smelled better than they were, really.
Oh yeah,
it was a little bit of a letdown when you had the pretzels, unless you had a lot of mustard, and then you were just eating mustard.
That's
basically.
Exactly right. And the really hard rock salt that you could chip your tooth on.
Yep.
They did. I remember improvements from going back when the kids were little and visiting my mom, because she goes, "Oh, there's this pretzel place," and they used to put hot melted butter on it. So they came up with that improvement. But so Aunt Annie's, I don't remember them, but I think I remember Wetzel's. Because the name gets me. Wetzel's
how
pretzels.
Many pretzel places do you need, really?
You really don't need that many. But depending on the size of the mall, there is always one, possibly two. Hot dog on the stick, I did talk about. Now, that was more as a teenager. You could probably laugh at the people that work there. I know that it's not nice, but it was true. Old Time Burrito. Now, that I checked, it's still open in the same mall. I graduated from high school in 1987. I'm sure I ate there from 85 on. I don't remember it was there too much before then. But the thing is still there.
Well, they survived the 90s and now the pandemic, so...
You can't kill an old-time burrito.
That's an amazing resiliency.
So where did you said you went to Sbarro?
Sbarro, I guess, was almost my go-to.
Right.
I mean, I love a giant slice of pizza.
Who doesn't?
Always have. It was... Yeah, that was definitely my go-to. Seems like they sold other things like pasta, and it seemed to have almost a buffet.
Yeah.
And it seems like one time the Sbarro became an all-you-can-eat Sbarro with the breadsticks and the pizza and the dipping sauce and
nice, like a
Olive
Garden-y sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it was good. I've never seen a Sbarro outside a mall.
No.
I've never seen a full-size restaurant. I've always seen food court Sbarro.
That's right.
So that was their area.
And I think airports as well. I think that it's like, because that was from New York.
New York thing, yeah.
And they brought it here. It was in the Melbourne airport, he said, for a little. Yes.
Wow.
Pretty sure, because he went out there. Yeah, and he went out there and he gave pizza.
He drove to Tell the Marine.
Yeah.
To get a slice.
Well, just testing it. That's okay. That makes me think I need to get myself down to the pizza place we found in Mentone, because that was a good slice as well.
What's that? Sunnyside
in Mentone. There was always a hot nut store, like a hot nut shack.
Well, they had an amazing mound or mountain of hot nuts.
That's it. That's it. And then
it looked like Richard Dreyfuss made it after he left the Close Encounters set.
It's bored teenagers.
Yeah,
Just like, what can we build? Or
I just want to know how long those mounds of peanuts or honey roasted cashews have been sitting there, because it just didn't look hygienic.
I'm pretty sure
really.
my mother said those same words
It
to
was
me.
shellacked and it wasn't real. They got it from underneath. They got it from another box. But I don't think they ever touched that one you could see. It was too nice of a stack.
It's like the popcorn at the movies. You can't have the freshly popped. Here's out of the bag under the counter.
Darrell Lee was like that in Perth Street.
Oh, was it?
All displayed, all out there, shiny, lacquered sort of thing. But yeah,
That's not where they got it from.
no, but that would be the Australian.
It was like taxidermy for nuts.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's right. But to a kid, it was amazing. All out, all the candy.
The illusion.
Yes. Now, Orange Julius.
I definitely remember Orange Julius, and I really never knew how they created it besides orange juice and whatever else. But God, it was good.
It was so good.
So good. Foamy.
Yep.
The foamier for some reason, the better.
I made this protein shake, and it tasted like one. It was like vanilla protein powder and orange juice. It's still more to it, but I was like, this is so close.
You know the Sherbies, the Allen's
Yeah.
candies? That has always reminded me of Orange Julius.
Ooh. Brennan's a Sherbies
I love the Sherby.
And I used to go in
I
there.
like them in the car when it's a little warm, and they're a little bit warm, a little bit
Yeah, so you
soft.
don't quite rip your whole
Yeah,
tooth
yeah,
off
exactly,
as you're doing
exactly.
it. And they used to have a strawberry Julius. And I would get that occasionally. I would always be let down because I really wanted the orange Julius.
It's hard to mess with the original.
I
anything.
know. I never bought a hot dog from there. I know they sold the hot dogs. I just wanted the drinks.
You wanted your hot dog on a stick, obviously.
That's right.
I didn't have the stick.
So I could laugh at someone. And I was so sad when I'm thinking, I think the last time I was there, I have a picture. I posted a picture when I was up. I was at Orange Julius, and I always wonder, is this the last one I'm going to have?
Well, it never tasted good with a Cinnabon, that's for sure. That was like toothpaste and orange juice. That was a bad combo.
Oh, Cinnabon. Yes, no, you can't do that. You need to have your Orange Julius like at the beginning of your shopping trip.
Could you tear apart an entire Cinnabon? Could you handle a whole one? It's rough.
Look,
it's rough.
if I paced myself, probably, but I wouldn't be happy with myself afterward. They did the mini ones at home, didn't they? The little half ones.
I mean, I felt, I wasn't going to go with the mini. You go with the full size, and then you ask for the extra drizzle
on
or whatever
top,
it is.
that cream cheese frosting.
But then after you have it, you can still smell them cooking in the mall, and then you're sick. It's like you wouldn't want another one.
That's
for
right.
sure.
That's right. Maybe that's why people think they're gluten intolerant. Some of the people that actually aren't, been tested and they're not celiac, but they get.
I used to have like a month or two in between Cinnabons.
Well, Cinnabon, when they opened, because they opened one locally to us in Southland, Ainsley and I went one morning, and we waited in the line, and we were happily waiting in the line, but I still had they're all going. Wait, hang on. There has to be more in the oven. That's all right. The constant rotation. It was so good. I haven't been back. I had my one.
And how long ago was that?
Like a year ago.
See?
It's
you
just
don't
like
often.
No, it's just once a year.
Because you can really remember them too well.
And
the
if
smell, the taste.
And if they don't get them just right, there's a little bit doughy in the middle. And you're already committed.
Yep.
And it's just hard not to put that down. Well, the thing is, the way they put them they're usually like near the entrance, and in airports sort of near entrances, because you smell them before you see them. And it's just like, what was it? Like wimpy with, just like floating with the smell of the hamburgers. Like you float over to get them. But yeah, the smell afterward can make you not feel so good. And they have a special cinnamon formula. So like when we get the Pillsbury Grands, when they had the Cinnabon thing on them, the logo on them, it's because they use their special formula, whatever that is.
I seen a comedian once, and he was talking about how he felt pretty bad when he gets a Cinnabon at his arriving airport. And he gets there, it's okay if you're killing 3 hours at an airport and you want to sit there and eat a Cinnabon. But if you get one when you arrive at an airport, you got a problem. A real problem. You can see somebody.
Exactly right. You get recognized.
That's it. We had Krispy Kreme in the Sydney airport when it came here. Brennan used to have to go to Sydney occasionally for work, and he'd bring some home. And which one?
What, were they there first? Before
Yes.
Here?
Yeah. And it was just something like See's Candy at the airports at home, like just a little pop up thing. And who was it? One of the kids was like got grumpy because it wasn't what they wanted exactly, or something like, you only
The
got
exact
glazed,
donut.
Something. And then he threw the box away.
Well, hey.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, but I didn't need a lesson learned.
Don't look a gift horse.
That's right.
That's exactly what happened. And now some of the other stores, some of these now I've put in because they've come in after I've gone. But I know, like Baskin Robbins was always there. I always made a stop there. I am well known for being the only adult that will get the clown cone. It's the icing. It's
Do you
the
eat
frozen
Buffalo
icing.
Bills?
No.
Okay,
No.
Just for the gum?
It was like my little kid. It was like Mackenzie and I. She's having one of them.
Did
and
you ever have
so
a
am I.
Dippin' Dots in the mall? Was that where?
Not my part of the
Okay,
mall. I
yeah.
think it came later, but then I've had them here. I find it a really strange concept.
It is,
It
but there
feels-
is something.
The taste is good,
Yeah, the taste is good. Something's
but
good.
the mouth feels not right.
It's like, what have they done wrong with this ice cream to make it do this? To make it do this trick?
It's like when you see a Master Chef and instead they do the Heston Blumenthal will do it with, the super. What's the cold? Oh, I'm trying to think of it. Like with dry ice, they make it with dry ice rather than churning ice cream. I was like, that can't be. Sometimes
It's like microwaving
yeah,
ice
it's
cream.
cutting.
Really.
Yeah, it's cutting corners. It doesn't work. Chipotle, which is sort of came in that at home is outside the mall.
With Applebee's,
Yes,
Chili's, those are all
Oh,
around
yeah.
the parking lots.
that's right. So there were these little stops around
They
the
were
parking.
trying to like
Get the mall traffic.
Yeah, exactly. They were trying to steal the mall traffic by putting them in the parking lot.
Yeah, and Chili's was great. I miss Chili's, or I thought it was great.
I miss Chili's and Applebee's just because you could go there 1,000 times. Our menu's so big you could never even order the same thing twice.
Yeah, and you know the experience you're gonna have, and you enjoy that.
It's not fine dining,
No,
but they got pretty cool cocktails and
and they had the nice little bar area. All my friends took me for my 21st birthday for lunch at Chili's. It was my mom had to pick me up.
okay, good lunch.
It was good. It was like I got to have top shelf margaritas that day. And my mom always had Jamaica almond fudge. It was called, not Jamaica, Jamaican almond fudge at Baskin Robbins.
I've had that at Arby's before. They used to have a shake. Remember the Jamaica shake?
Oh, yes,
was
I
like
do.
that.
So mom loved that. I used to get Rocky Road or pumpkin ice cream when that came out.
You like
Yeah.
pumpkin all the way back then. I thought that might have came about.
Now,
You're
see,
pumpkin
I'm the OG
from
pumpkin
way
lover.
back, way back.
And I never went to a Benihana's.
Is that the teppanyaki place?
Yeah, it was sort of like the Applebee's of Japanese
I think that's when I
teppanyaki.
first went to a place where they cooked in front of me. I think it was a Benihana.
I'm always afraid they're going to make me participate, and I'm like, well, not. I'm just too.
Shoot the shrimp
I don't want
tails
to
into
pick
your
the
pocket.
egg up. I don't want to do it. But another place here, which you have experience with, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings, I do have an experience
Please
with.
tell us, sir.
All right, so back in 2006, I had to go fight my immigration battle from the United States. They didn't want me being here in Australia fighting my immigration anymore because they one time caught me working prior to me being allowed to work. So they actually told me to leave Australia for 3 years unless I could become a permanent resident from the United States.
Right.
So that's exactly what I did. So I went with my wife, Amy, who wasn't even my wife at the time, and she went on a 90-day visa to the United States, and we thought we would solve the problem in 90 days. It took 361 days for us to solve the problem. During those 361 days, we got married. Just her and I and one other lady at a courthouse down in Jacksonville, Florida. They didn't even want to marry Amy because she didn't have a valid visa, but we talked them into it. So we got it done. But during that 361 days, I had no car. So I needed to work just to have some money. And so I got a job at Buffalo Wild Wings. BW3s is what it's called. The third W is called WEC. Buffalo Wild Wings and WEC.
Right.
Which is some kind of bread, which I never even seen them serve. Maybe it was they used to, I don't know. But yeah, so I got a job there. I had to work at night. It was the only way I could get there. So I went at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got a job in the kitchen. I was 32 years old, and my first month of working there, I thought I was past getting Employee of the Month awards. I just thought I graduated from that type of award, but apparently not. So I was given the Employee of the Month, and I asked what my reward was for being the Employee of the Month. I hope it wasn't a parking spot because I had no car. It was all the food I could eat. I looked at the manager and I was like, I work in the kitchen. What do you think we're doing in there? She actually offered, well, basically explained to me the next month that she would like to give me Employee of the Month again, but she was concerned about the animosity that it would cause. I was also the oldest person working in there as well. Everybody was like 18 years old. But she told me I could continue to eat in the kitchen, and I said, thank you with my wink. So yeah, they had a little plaque outside where they put everybody's name that was Employee of the Month, and it was a town that I'd worked in several sales jobs before, so I was concerned that people would come in and see my name on the damn. I was like, oh God, I don't want you to see my name on Employee of the Month in this kitchen. But look, to be honest, it was a really stress-free, fun place to work with a bunch of kids while I was fighting my immigration. I made like $6 an hour.
Did Amy stay all that time?
Stayed the whole time. She actually worked under the table at a hair salon and was making like $8 an hour more than I was on the books, and I got taxed on mine. I got paid every 2 weeks. I got like $350 or $400. It was a bit rough, especially when I had to go to Tampa to do a medical exam for immigration. It cost me $375, more than I made in the week for sure.
Oh yeah.
But look, Buffalo Wild Wings is a fun place. It was a place where, like, on a Tuesday night, all the Pittsburgh Steeler fans would go, or all the Michigan Wolverine fans would go. So it was always different nights were different parties, really. And you'd see people ask for the hottest wing sauce. So we'd take the grease that's separated on the top of the wing sauce, and we'd really blend it up. And we had a little window that we watched out to see people eating what they requested, just for the joy of their face and their crying. Well, yeah, it was fun. I worked there for almost a year, and yeah, had a lot of good times. Amy came there in the evenings and was enjoying the very cheap cocktails around there.
Yeah.
She's drinking these blue hurricanes that turned her whole face and mouth in blue for like $6. And they had ladies' nights in there, and ladies were drinking dollar cocktails in there.
Those are the good old days.
I actually think it might still go on.
Yeah, probably does.
The good old days in America. I mean, cheap drinks.
Last time we went for cocktails, it was $25 a pop.
It's disgusting. It's made me quit drinking.
Hasn't quite done that.
Almost.
How'd you come at 3 a.m.? What were you doing then?
Amy would come get me.
She would?
And I would have, because we would make these wraps. So we're just a tortilla wrap, and you'd have basically your choice of wing sauce and whatever chicken tenders in there loaded up. Plus they had deep fried breaded mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody knows where those are in Melbourne, please let us know. Because they're the best, dipped in ranch dressing.
Oh, those are the best.
So we're at 4 o'clock in the morning eating these big wraps and breaded mushrooms, and then we go back to sleep.
So she was driving.
She would drive, yeah. She'd drive my mom's car. So that's why I was working at night, and she was working in walking distance from the apartment we were staying in.
So you rotate
basically, my mom's car was used to shuttle us around while she was asleep, basically, because I couldn't get a job that worked when she worked.
No, because
I couldn't get there.
Oh man!
But it was fun. All is well that ends well, and now I'm a citizen of Australia, and
that's right.
19 years in to my journey today.
And we're happy we have you. You like Employee of the Month every month at our place too. It's like the candy and the candy man. And what else are you? You everything.
Snack man. I'm the snack man.
Snack man, soda man, gets everything in. That's the sort of thing. Those places like Chili's, you'd go there. And you'd go to the bar and you'd have appetizers, and then you'd go out to wherever you were going as well. And there were
it was a pregame.
Yeah, and it was a really good feeling in there. And then like the bigger malls at home, like Stone Ridge, the one I mentioned, they had a couple of restaurants that were it's like the scene from Christmas with the Cranks, where he's in the mall and they eat at Irish bar. So they'd have like these little bar places,
Like
sort of.
Bennigan's?
Yeah, sort of like attached to the mall. So, they'd check you before you go in. So you could do the whole gig as well. Although,
Have you seen Waiting with Ryan Reynolds and they work at Shenanigans? That's kind of like that, but it's a hilarious film. I highly
no,
recommend.
okay, I'll have to do that. That's my favorite word is shenanigans.
Well, that's what they're up to.
Love that word. Now, and then, so all the food was there. We used to load up and enjoy. And then coffee places started really hitting. So, people kind of moved from the diners and you local coffee shops to becoming addicted to, the coffee bean and tea leaf or Starbucks or Gloria Jean's and all those places.
Instead of the bottomless black pot
That's
of
right.
coffee.
So that's when I wonder if that's when all of the pre-diabetic stages and weight gains happen as well. Because, when you drink a cup of coffee that has 4 pumps of this and 3 pumps of that, it doesn't feel like you're, eating the equivalent of a cake. You're just drinking a coffee
Dessert
jam.
coffee.
It
Dessert
is
coffee.
Dessert coffee. Although I do think it is cruel that you did not tell your mother there was a Starbucks so close by.
Look, Starbucks is good in the United States when you don't have good coffee. But
I know.
here we have good coffee like every
But
place.
but she likes it.
I know
she wants her
does.
Starbucks.
Look, I know. Last time I was in New York with her, it's like there was one on opposite corners. We
that's
could
the
which
weirdest
one do we
thing.
go to? We could look at both of them. And it got me used to the price of coffee here because Starbucks was always really expensive there. So now it got me used to $5 coffees, which Starbucks are now $9 coffees.
Yes. Yeah, you can't do that. I like
Ordering at Starbucks is a mouthful for most people. Really, it's usually not just a coffee, right?
No, and the poor people.
Ainsley, your daughter's got a big, lengthy Starbucks order, I believe.
She comes up with her phone and then reads through it. I'll have a.
Like she needs to leave notes for her own coffee
Yes,
order?
to make sure, because the drinks that you see like on TikTok and, Instagram and all that, they don't cross the ocean to hear all of them. So Ainsley will have to look and see, okay, so what can I do to make that up? And then she'll go in there and then they do
Inspiration.
it for her. It is. They know her. And what is it? The one near uni? The guy knows her order, I'm pretty sure now. And so it's quite funny.
Pretty good if they know your order at Starbucks when you get, 15 different ingredients.
Well, it saves her time. Saves
good.
them time. They might even name it after her. You never know.
That'd make it easier.
Well, maybe that's their version of mall food now. So everyone's hanging out at Starbucks.
I always
doing
thought that
the
they should
drive-thru.
give you like a barcode that you put on your phone where you could scan what coffee it is so they don't make a mistake. You don't make a mistake. That's my coffee.
That's fantastic.
They really should really pick up their game.
They should. You should send that into them. I like that. He is an ideas man. Now, we are going to wrap this bit up right now. We're going to come back, and we've got a little bit of housekeeping and a few other things, and we'll talk about some exciting stuff that is going on in the store as well.
Love my barbecue.
Welcome back, everybody.
There you go. Now, bit of housekeeping. The code for the month of April is anniversary because it's our anniversary. So there's going to be some special stuff we'll talk about a little bit later. So on the USA Foods website, you can click on the listener's discount logo next to any items. As you can see that as well. And we have our specials happening this week, and there's other specials that will come up also. The store is open 7 days a week. You can check the site for hours. Please subscribe to the podcast if you are enjoying it. It does help us out, and you can share and engage with the podcast at podcast@usafoods.com.au. Now, something special's happening. What's coming up, Sean?
Well, on Sunday, the 30th of April is Saturday. We're going to do it on a Saturday is the 30th. It's the 25th anniversary of this place opening up.
That is fantastic.
That's pretty good. It's a pretty good thing. Not a lot of specialty stores make it that long. So Phil and Jeanette started this bad boy up 25 years ago, and we're trying to keep it going for them. Pretty exciting place to be right now.
Yeah.
Our store is jam-packed with stock that you've never seen before, stock that you've been wishing that was back, and it's back. We've got 40 or 50 pallets in Melbourne right now that's getting ready to come to me over the next week or so. We've got Pillsbury dough coming back in about 1 week's time.
Fantastic.
It might be the last time for a little while. Refrigerated containers are becoming very hard to get during the chaos of shipping that's going on worldwide. So we're going to be having food trucks, free samples, free coffee, live podcast, prizes, the big wheel, if everybody remembers it from the last live podcast. You can spin it. You can get an extra discount. We're going to be sampling some new stuff that we've brought in, which is some Colombian stuff, so like some chorizos.
Fantastic. They're
and
good.
Those guys from Cheeky Foods are even going to be bringing in some cheese bread that's air fryer ready that is apparently delicious that none of us have tried yet. So we'll be sampling that out. We're going to be giving away bottomless Juan Valdez coffee all day, and some other stuff that we've got in the works that isn't completely locked in yet. So I'll let you.
We'll
just
keep teasing
we'll
you
just keep
guys.
teasing you. Some other things
you
are
know.
coming up, but the amount of stock that we have now, the amount of stock that's coming, we've got so many chips, so many cereals, so many drinks, hot sauce. Basically, it's a hot sauce shop inside a grocery store.
We have to be the biggest hot sauce spot
biggest
around at the
specialty
moment.
store, the biggest range. We've got over 6,000 products. Now, we don't have them all in stock at one time. We do our best, but that's impossible.
Yeah.
If we had them all in stock at one time, we'd have to put a second story on USA Foods, and that's not out of the question.
If you have your way. And now what's going on? We're talking about sort of supply chain issues. So there's still a glut of containers in like Long Beach.
Some of these containers are not only the stuff taking a long time to get to us. Some things we can't get, some favorites we can't get, but we'll do our best to keep those things coming back. Some of the things we get in have short shelf life, short best before dates, which is a good time for you to take advantage of some discounted products. Some of our suppliers are giving us some credits on some of these things that have taken a long time. So we're selling some products cheaper than we ever have before.
Yep.
You'll see that in our special in our clearance section on the website. We've got a big clearance section inside the shop. Most people know where it is because everybody goes right there because that's where you can get really nice bargains, stuff that's all very fine to eat, and we test it ourselves.
We do. I was just going to say, we don't sell anything. We don't sell anything with an expiry date. It's past, best by or best before. So it's sort of like at its peak freshness is what they say at that stage. But we open a box of cookies.
We test a lot of products. Trust me, we really do.
And that's why we're going to have to invest in elastic pants. But
we'll be selling those too next year.
Yeah, so we're looking at getting some more things, and Sean's a bit of a wheeler dealer. He's been talking to new people. And
anybody that likes Tirani, we're getting ready to have 45 flavors. So
that's
nobody outside the United States would even think about that. And I don't even think many people in the United States carry the range that we're about to have.
Yep.
So you can use those in soda streams. You can use them in coffees. You can use them in smoothies. There's every flavor. Barbara showed me her wish list, and I made that wish a reality, and they'll be coming in very soon.
So excited.
What are some of the weird flavors?
Oh, Barbara, you would know. I mean, there's grape and bourbon, caramel.
So there's the fruit ones. So there's grape and raspberry and peach, and I think, did you get the mango?
Yep.
Right. Every fruity flavor, and you can do a thing called an Italian soda, which is fantastic. So say you don't have a soda stream. If you do, it works beautifully. But if you don't, just get yourself some sparkling mineral water or soda water, and you just do it like cordial sort of thing. And it is great. And Mom was telling me the best bit, like a cherry. Imagine cherry, right?
Coming.
A little bit of cream on top of that. And it's just like a creamy, sort of like a spider. So that's her trick. And then we have like bourbon, and we've got almonds and toffees and everything. I don't have the list in front of me, but it's very exciting.
If you could think about it, it's probably on the list.
That's right. And you can do, it's over ice cream. It's in coffee. It's in hot chocolate. It's in, make some ganache and put that in. It's baking. It's endless what you can flavor things with. And, just go.
We're getting
nuts.
So much Tirani, we're basically having to redesign the store to fit it all.
Yep. And so now we're looking into we're waiting for a few things to come into place, and we're going to be having coffee. So you can come in.
Drop your kids off at school.
That's right. It's a little bit cold, and warm yourself up with a free cup of coffee. And we're going to get probably, a syrup of the week or a syrup of the month. That'll be there. You can try, if you've always wanted to try a coffee mate, we'll have some of that as well. And you can sample that enjoy your shopping with the
There's a
kids
lot
at
to
school.
see. You need a coffee to get through it
You
all.
do.
There really is a lot to see.
It's very good. So we're trying to get a few of these things to, because we're excited being there, working there, and we'd like to share that with everyone else.
New stuff excites the staff.
Yes.
Excites all of us. We know you guys are going to love it.
Oh yeah, and like every time I have a few days off and I walk back in, I take a little walk through the shop, and there is always something new. And I think I leave most of my paycheck back at work, but that's what makes me a good employee. Now this has been with us since we started the podcast. It's like a food celebrations day, Sean, and you know how there's always a day for everything. So we have now done it once a month because Phil and I lapped it. And so we thought, people might enjoy some of these things. So April 2nd is Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. April 3rd, National Chocolate Mousse Day. Oh my God, I came up with something. If anyone I have some plain Greek yogurt, which I don't know what I was thinking because I don't like it. But you know what I did? I got some of the Jell-O chocolate pudding and just sprinkled some of that. Now I had the sugar-free, fat-free in the house. You can get the regular. Mix that up, put a little bit of water, mixed it up, put it in the fridge overnight, and it was like chocolate mousse. I was very excited. That has to be better for you. I don't know. International Carrot Day, which I don't know why carrot needs that. Caramel Day, Coffee Cake Day. Now, how do you say the next one? So this is what we debate at work.
How do I say it, or how did I used to say it? I don't even remember. National Pecan Day.
Pecan or pecan. Now, my mother gets after me because evidently I should be saying pecan, but I say pecan day. Upside down cake day, which cast iron pan, upside down cake. That's good. And that's pretty much it. We've had oatmeal cookie day. Don't get disappointed
I
with.
see you've skipped over National Tea Cake Day. Now that's not really a big celebration, is it?
No, not even
Is
here.
there a parade?
Who's having it? Only after the cucumber sandwiches with the crust cut off. Who wants tea cake? You have picnic day and macaron day and oatmeal cookie day, which
Some big days coming up.
I know.
Really
So
is.
lots of bacon. Now, so we have it's usually Sean's Superstore specials, but we actually have the big guy in here today. So it's Wednesday, the 6th of April to Tuesday, the 12th of April. So we're going to have some special prices for a few of these things.
All right, we got Starbucks. We got the whole bean dark roast and the ground medium roast.
Which is handy. I've got a coffee maker that grinds the beans, so I've got the French roast in right now. It was $29.99, and for this week, it's down to $24.99.
Now, referring back to my employee of the month in Buffalo Wild Wings, we've got a few flavors going. We've got the honey barbecue wing sauce. We've got the Asian zing and the Parmesan garlic, my personal favorite.
Yum. They are down to $6.99 for this week. And
if you want to kick up your Mexican night, because I know you're all having one, and you want to make it taste like your drunk nights through the drive-thru, we've got all the Taco Bell seasonings going for you. We got the mild, the original, the fajita. I think we even got the chicken. So, we got these real cheap.
Yeah, they're down to $2.
Load up, spice it up, put some spice in your life. Let's go, guys.
That's right.
All right, and one more is the Olive Garden signature recipe croutons. Now, these will make me eat salad, and that's not an easy thing to do.
And they are $5.99 usually, and they will be down to $4. And we also we talk about a personal best product. And this week, we've asked Sean what his is, and this item is actually already on sale, which is handy for $10. Tell us about it, Sean.
Choosy moms choose Jif, and choosy Sean's choose Jif. So the Jif is a maker of delicious peanut butter. We've got the extra crunchy. Mine is the creamy peanut butter. I don't know how many times I've made peanut butter sandwiches, peanut butter jelly sandwiches for my son's friends. They always look blown away. It's hard to blow away kids, but this does it. Blows me away. It's the best, whether it's on toast, whether it's on celery, whether it's on sandwiches. Believe it or not, I used to put this on toast with Miracle Whip.
Oh, Sean.
So if y'all want a disgusting, weird try, I mean, it's weird, but there's something
Something
Look,
about
you have to
it?
be in the right state of mind. But
Okay.
it really is good. This is a great product. It's fresh.
It's a big
It's
jar,
easy to
too.
spread. It's a big jar. It's $10. This thing's, what do we got here, man? 28 ounces. This won't last me long, but maybe last other people a long time.
And
but
you know what else I have been known to do with that? Get a Hershey's bar. You can use it like dip.
I just remember the old ad where a Hershey bar ran into a
Yes.
peanut butter bar, and that's how Reese's got
Yeah.
invented, you know?
Yep, that was me.
But yeah, look, there's a lot of favorite products I could go with, but that's the one that I definitely, if I don't have it in my house, then I'm not happy.
Yeah, well, I understand that. I like crunchy, but I get the absolute love of the creamy. Now we're going to move on to some knowledge nuggets. So these are the things, Sean, that we went back and we're talking about those little things that you do when you're cooking that your mom told you or someone else, for example, if you're using oil or using butter, you're frying something in butter, if you put a little bit of oil in there, the butter won't burn. Those sort of little tricks, right? So, and I like to tease Anna about it because I just do. She didn't know how to make rice. I was like, that's the easiest thing in the world. And there we go. So the knowledge nugget was born.
I know how to make minute rice. I mean, that's pretty much about it. I'm not the best person to add on to kitchen tips, but I tell you what, I use the heck out of an air fryer.
Yes. So tell us some tips. So make your nugget tips.
I mean, honestly, number one, the first tip that my mother gave me is Amazon sells these big things that look like cupcake cups.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to clean an air fryer.
Yes.
They kind of get out of control because it's so easy just to chuck shit in there and turn it on.
Yeah.
So that's the last person stuff is still in there and yada, yada, yada. So you get these things from Amazon that are like made out of, I don't know, cork, like real thin, like cork or something like that. It just absorbs everything and you just throw them away. They're disposable.
It's like a filter.
I'm not trying to give Amazon business, but they're like $26 for 100. Keeps your air fryer longer because basically an air fryer is so cheap. I just want to replace it when it gets dirty. They're $69. I use it for 9 months or 6 months. We'll get another one. But warming up pizza, I actually like my pizza well done.
Mm-hmm.
Usually order that way. I like a done pizza. So the air fryer adds to that. It reanimates a slice of pizza.
Nice.
And it's as good as it was the day before. That's the main thing. Obviously, chips or anything like that in the air fryer is a beautiful thing. But since I'm not really a cook, the air fryer is the best invention since toast.
I actually I used the air fryer at work the other day to heat something up. I can't remember what it was now, but it looks like no one had been giving that one any attention for a fair while. So I got
easy to mistreat.
So I cleaned it. I used it and I cleaned it again. So I'm not responsible anymore. I love doing like baked potatoes in the air fryer because I'll they take it not necessarily quicker, but the crunch is really good. So I'll just stick those in there for a while and take them out, and that's lovely.
I've cooked the Pillsbury, the cinnamon rolls in there.
And
they're good.
Okay,
they're good. It's faster.
Oh,
if you're in a hurry for them, it's much faster.
I'm always in a hurry for those things.
Yeah, nobody wants to wait the 25 minutes.
That's just an estimate, really. Now, I have so there's Ralphie with his squeaky toy. That usually happens once a show. If you are looking at a recipe now, when you're cooking, you should always read the recipe through first. You should. I don't. Often I get stuck with not having something I need. So this one is to, if I need buttermilk for something, if you don't have buttermilk, what you can do is so if you need a cup, I put like a tablespoon or so of vinegar or lemon juice at the bottom of a measuring cup and fill it up to 1. And it curdles after a period of time, which gives you buttermilk. So that, depending on what you're cooking, you need the buttermilk to make it a bit fluffier. So if you get stuck, you don't need to run to the store. And then often you have like a little bit of buttermilk in a carton that you're never going to use, and you end up chucking it. So that is my knowledge nugget this week. And we have got, I don't know if you've seen her, Muffy, who is a customer of ours, and she works she used to work at Office Works, and you would recognize her uniform. I would recognize her uniform. So I think you would have seen her because she's a frequent customer. She came up with a whole list, she and her mother. So we're putting one of Muffy's in every week. And hers is you can substitute plain yogurt for sour cream or vice versa in recipes. So again, I love it when you don't have to leave the house to go buy something. You can just sub something in. That is our knowledge nuggets for this week. And now we've got Goss. It's depressing, Goss. I'm sorry, I couldn't find any happy stories. Sean, last week, I just have to tell you briefly, did we talk to you about the KFC degustation dinner that they did in Sydney?
No.
A chef did this 10-course dinner with KFC. So Phil and I covered it the other week for We've Got Goss. It was $75. Anna and I were spewing. We couldn't fly up and do it. It made it to Jimmy Fallon. He was talking about it. So we try to find some funny things, but this week is a little bit depressing. But as everyone knows, the petrol tank is a bit hard to fill up and, food's going up a bit. And some of us have gone back. Some of us that weren't working at home have gone back into the city and back to work. Well, we're paying more for lunch. It's called lunchflation. They've coined it. So the prices in Australia's major cities, sandwiches are up 28 cents. Some people in the US are 28%. Some people in the US, just the prices will freak you out a little bit. $9.27 to $11.86 for a sandwich. Burgers up 14% from $14.31 to $16.27. This is obviously at a sit-down place. Dumplings up 6% from $10.15 to $10.79. Wraps up 5% from $9.90 to $10.35. Salads up 3% from $12.94 to $13.39. They obviously don't have our croutons on them. People have to keep going. But soup is down.
Well, that's good. I've been thinking about switching to soup.
That's right. Just go to soup now from $8.03 to $7.75.
Gonna be able to go on holiday now.
That's right. That is right. So, things are changing a little bit. Now, this is sort of apropos. Next week's show, coupons. Or coupons. How do you say it?
Coupons.
Coupon.
I think. I forget how I say things that I don't ever say.
I know. Because I always said coupons, but it's coupons.
Coupons.
And I was saying we use coupons, like the Parade magazine would come out, Sunday newspaper, and they'd have all the good coupons in them. And my mom never used them. I don't know if her things were never on sale or she just didn't want to carry them around. I don't know.
My grandmother loved coupons. That was like a big part of her life.
Yeah.
And then when two of her three daughters moved to other states, then she would send, because she felt guilty because the one that lived close got money for groceries. So she would send some money and coupons to make sure it was equaling out with daughters in different states. So yeah, if she was alive, I'm sure she'd still be using the coupons.
Oh,
going into Kroger and getting the double coupon day and all of that.
Well, because it's still happening and it's become sort of a sport. So I was telling Sean, if you spend 5 minutes on YouTube, you will find extreme couponers. And these people, it's like a cross between couponing and prepping. And hoarding. But neat hoarding. So it's like hoarding you can get behind. There was one couple that did give things away to churches and shelters and things. But we are going to be talking about that. And we don't really have them here. So we'll be I have people here on the top of a Betty Crocker product. They have the little, like a little spoon, like the Betty Crocker spoon, that people cut them off and still send them back to their relatives that collect them, because you can get, if you have so many of those, you can get a discount.
Some of the cereal has things at schools, like you could rip stuff off of some cereals and turn them into school for funding of some kind.
Yeah.
I think.
So some of our customers that have family back home still cut those out and send them.
We should bring the coupons into Australia. Maybe we should bring it back.
I would love that because it's nice. We tried the Shopper Docket and we had that for a while, but like how many dinners at Montezuma's can you have buy one, next one half off? Like they didn't really change it that much. And so that is today's show. Sean, thank you very much for being with us.
Absolutely my pleasure.
And it's been a good chat. I knew it'd be fun. It's probably a bit too much of me, but that's okay. I'm very too much of me. Now, we have a great sign-off because I keep telling my kids, and my mother is horrified by this, but we were sort of raised a little bit feral back in the day because, no mobiles. They couldn't keep track of us. So Leslie Mann, Judge Apatow's wife, So this is a quote from her. When I was 9, my parents let me take a cab to the mall all by myself. I had hardly any money to spend, but I did have a very specific list of things I wanted to do. Buy cookies and sit on the furniture at Sears. And we'll see you next week.
Later.